okay? Hi guys, enjoyed. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the EFL Awards 2023. We've got an incredible night in store celebrating the great work that the EFL players, clubs, staff and community are doing both on and off the field. George and myself, Ali from Not the Top 20 podcast, have found ourselves on the blue carpet. What are we doing here?
We're going to interview some of the players and managers coming through into the awards. Always one of the best nights of the year. And hopefully we've got our mate Connor Harrahan who's going to come and have a chat with us.
This is a sensational start. Good evening, Connor.
Good evening, isn't it?
How are you?
I'm good, how are you? You alright?
Very well. Not too sore
all
after
good, mate.
yesterday's 1-0 win against Burton Albion.
No, not too bad, not too bad. Big 3 points for us. Feels like the buzz is back a little bit, which is important at the right time. So yeah, things are going alright.
How much do you think your experience in playoff campaigns could be help in the future if Derby do get there?
Yeah, obviously, look, I've been involved in quite a few of them. So if we can get over the line in the next 2 games and get there, that would be amazing to have another campaign. But there's some old heads in the dressing room that can help us, when we get in there, hopefully, to hopefully have a successful playoff campaign as well.
At this exact stage of the season, everyone's scouring the fixture list to work out who's playing who. And, there's a lot of different schools of thought. Do you want teams down the bottom? Do you want teams in the middle with not much to play for? Do you want teams who are vying for something, for a proper game? You've got a tough couple of games.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, to be fair, yeah. We got, obviously, Portsmouth and Sheffield Wednesday. Portsmouth obviously have had a great surge since Mousinho's got in, and obviously Sheffield Wednesday speaks for itself. So yeah, we've got a couple of tough games, so it just shows the last couple of games that we've just had were really, really important to get some results.
Great stuff.
We wish you a great night, Connor. We'll see you.
We'll see you in there, mate.
Yeah,
and you.
Go well.
Later.
Go well. I mean, we got some incredible shortlists tonight. I don't know how or who picks the winners, but I mean, manager of the season in the Championship, League 1 and League 2 is next to impossible. George, in the Championship, we got Vincent Kompany of Burnley.
Unbelievable pronunciation.
Mark Robbins of Coventry City, my French degree coming in handy finally, and Michael Carrick as well of Middlesbrough.
Yeah, 3. I mean, there are other candidates who easily could have made the shortlist as well, but 3 crackers there. I mean, Kompany and Burnley. I think Burnley, one of the best sides we've seen in the Championship in recent years. I mean, Michael Carrick coming in his first job at Middlesbrough has done an unbelievable job. And it's great to see Mark Robbins there because I think people maybe don't necessarily always get the recognition they deserve for taking a club with a lower budget in the league and overperforming with it, and that's certainly what he's doing.
Incredible weekend for Cov as well, having won at home to Reading yesterday. It was a significant result, particularly because of results around them in the playoff places where they have surged into the top 6 and they'll be looking to stay there. I think we got 8 teams separated by something absurd like 4 or 5 points in the Championship playoff campaign, which is just sensational.
And when you consider that Robbins was manager of Coventry in League 2, and so when you think if he was to take them to the Premier League, he would be up there with the likes of Nathan Jones at Luton, Chris Wilder at Sheffield United in terms of being the revolutionary jobs, and I reckon Robbins might pit both of them to maybe the best job at one club in the last decade or so in the leagues.
It'd be good to hear from anyone watching who you think should be winning Championship Manager of the season, Kompany, Carrick or Robbins, and also let us know who you'd like to see us chat to over the next 20 minutes or so. We are at the mercy,
if they'll talk to us,
of this blue carpet. We're at the mercy of people actually wanting
Suddenly,
to chat.
this is what we didn't want to see, was an empty blue carpet now.
Good time.
They're going to be here soon.
At least it's a good time to talk about the League 1 Manager of the season, sponsored by Football Manager, which is absolutely insane because those 3 teams at the top are still neck and neck. We've got Kieran McKenna of Ipswich, we've got Stephen Schumacher of Argyle, we've got Darren Moore of Sheffield Wednesday.
And it's very difficult to pick the winner at this stage, isn't it, when we don't know what's going to happen?
Sure.
I mean, Kieran McKenna and Ipswich Town, I think the football they play deserves massive credit for. He's obviously such a skilled coach. You look at the job that Darren Moore's done at Sheffield Wednesday as well. Despite their recent drop-off, they're still pushing the other 2 all the way. But Stephen Schumacher and Plymouth Argyle, to do the job that he's done after the disappointment of missing out at the back end of last season, are they going to get over the line? Massive win for them yesterday against Cambridge. I think they're going to do it. But let's see how they go.
It does look like it at the moment, doesn't it? I guess manager of the season is always really difficult because amongst 24 managers, there's always going to be some that are massively overperforming. There's always going to be managers who maybe have the strongest budget in the division and maybe some of the strongest players, but they're still doing exactly what's being asked of them. And you get a certain school of thought, which is you should celebrate those who are overperforming their budgets, but then you'd be ignoring sometimes the clubs at the very top.
I think that's a really important point, and often people talk about, Vincent Kompany and Burnley's budget or Kieran McKenna and Ipswich's budget. Just because these guys have the biggest budgets in the league doesn't mean they aren't doing a 9, 10 out of 10 job. The football that they play, the way they bring on young talent, and the results they're getting alongside it mean they are doing incredibly well and they deserve their place in this conversation.
I think what we're finding right now is that the timekeeping of professional footballers is questionable.
Except for Conor Harrahan.
At best, apart from lovely Conor Harrahan with his lovely left peg. The League Two manager of the season, not easy either, sponsored by Football Manager. You've got Richie Wellens of Leyton Orient, of course. They have been crowned champions already at this early stage still. And a couple of games to go. The teams beneath them just scrapping for 2 automatic spots, for 4 playoff places. Paul Simpson of Carlisle United is on the shortlist, as is Steve Evans of Stevenage.
And again, I think that the key thing here is you've got the champions, obviously, in Orient, but also 2 teams in Carlisle and Stevenage who just weren't expected to be competing at the top end. And I think at this stage of the season, it's easy to forget that pre-season expectations are so important. Just because Stevenage have been up there for most of the campaign doesn't mean they deserve the recognition.
We've got 3 Player of the Season awards, which are equally difficult to call, I think it's fair to say. In the Championship, this one's sponsored by Sky Bet. The Player of the Season shortlist is Josh Brownhill of Burnley, Victor Gyökeres of Coventry City, and Chuba Akpom of Middlesbrough.
Again, incredible pronunciation there.
Thank you. It's what you've come to expect from
Really,
me.
it is, to be fair. You are a linguist. With Josh Brownhill, I think there are so many Burnley players who could have got the nod for this one. He's such an important player for them, playing in that advanced midfield role. I mean, you've got Nathan Taylor, Josh Cullen, all these players could have been nominated, but you had to have one of them in there.
Mads, can we have a quick chat? Thank you so much.
I love the chat.
It's
Great.
really nice to see you. Good evening, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Just the 9 home wins in a row now for your lot.
Yeah, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, how's the mood in the camp at the moment? Must be pretty good.
Yeah, good, confident, and we're looking forward to the next match.
The next match is on Tuesday night against Ipswich Town. I mean, there'll be people who are just looking at the top 3 as having been nailed on top 3 for the whole season, and yet you guys will not go away and have a chance to put yourselves in the conversation for the last week of the season.
Yeah, of course. Our focus right now is 1 game at a time. Try to win it, and we'll see where we end up.
And just before we let you go, just a word on the manager, who's done an incredible job so far this season. I think it's surpassing expectations of fans and probably the club alike. What's it been like to work with him?
I think personally great. He's been very good for me. He was a centre back himself, so I've got a lot of knowledge from him. So far so good.
He went non-league all the way up to the Premier League, so what he doesn't know about defending at all levels isn't worth knowing. Mads, have a great evening. It's nice to see you.
See you in there.
Disgracefully, Mads Anderson's not up for League One Player of the Season.
Can't say that.
I'm kidding. Did we touch on Championship Player of the Season, or were you just praising me for my pronunciation of Victor Gyökeres?
I didn't get to Gyökeres and Akpom, first and second in the goal scorer charts, 2 brilliant players. I think for Chuba Akpom, it's just an incredible story. Not someone who I think anyone anticipated had this season necessarily coming. Question marks about his future at Borough. He's done unbelievably well, playing not even as the kind of the top striker in that team, and Gyökeres, Coventry wouldn't be where they were if he wasn't there. So I mean, that is a great 3, and there are probably 6 or 7 others that could have been in the shortlist.
Yeah, I love the way Akpom is carrying himself as the leader of this Middlesbrough attack, as one of the best players in the Championship, and we'll find out tonight whether he'll be anointed the player of the Championship, but carrying himself with such confidence for someone who, as you said yourself, back in July wouldn't have been hugely confident of even a place in the matchday squad at Middlesbrough. Such was his situation at that time. In terms of the League One Player of the Season, sponsored by Sky Bet, Aaron Collins of Bristol Rovers has the goal and assist numbers. Johnson Clark-Harris of Posh has the goal numbers, and Barry Bannon has
Everything.
What doesn't he have?
Yeah, I mean, this is again brilliant. I don't have the numbers to hand. Bad prep for him, but Aaron Collins' goals and assists incredible. Johnson Clark-Harris tops goal scoring charts by miles, and then Barry Bannon, who is probably technically the best footballer. I mean, I'm glad Connor isn't here anymore in League One, with Connor shortly behind. Again, really hard to call that one. And there's a lot to play for, especially for Posh and for Sheffield Wednesday from now until the end of the season. And Barry Bannon has a real knack of stepping up towards the end of campaigns. He scored a couple of brilliant goals recently. He did the same at the back end of last season. If Wednesday are to return to the second tier, you've got to think Bannon's going to play a huge part.
Yeah, spot on. In League Two, it's one of the tightest heats, I think, tonight. Player of the Season, sponsored by Sky Bet. Andy Cook of Bradford City is the top scorer in the division. Sam Hoskins of Northampton Town, who are in second spot and looking good. One more win needed for Cobblers to secure the promotion that just eluded them last season, and Hoskins has been scoring goals for the whole season for Cobblers. And then Carl Piergianni.
As is Pidge.
As has Carl Piergianni of Stevenage. It's always nice to see a centre-back in the shortlist. I think they're underappreciated.
Definitely, and I think it's easy to put him on there because he's a goal-scoring centre-back. set piece is so important for Stevenage's success this season. I think he's got a massive chance of winning it, but against two goalsmen who normally get these kind of awards. Andy Cook has been essential to what Bradford have done, and also for Hoskins and Cobblers, who are so close to winning that promotion back to League One. Hoskins been their key player, undoubtedly.
Now, I'm pretty excited because
here we go.
Charging down the blue carpet is Coventry City star and Championship Player of the Season nominee Victor Gyökeres.
Mark, can we grab a chat if that's okay? So, Mark Robbins here, nominated for Manager of the Season in the Championship. Just come around just so they can see you. What a campaign it's been so far, and we were just saying the story, the journey up from League Two has been incredibly impressive. How confident are you of maybe ending with a trip to the Premier League?
How confident? You never not confident, but you've got to be realistic. You know, there's other teams that have got the advantage at the minute because they've got games to play. You know, that's difficult in itself because, you know, points in the bag are generally okay, but this season's been totally different, an unprecedented season. So, the start of the season we had to where we've come from, the players deserve an enormous amount of credit because, really, you know, our start was a shambles. So, from that point on, when we could start to play the games and knew that we'd start to get into a rhythm, once we got into the rhythm, it's been really good. And some of the players have risen really high, and the others are right on the coattails. So we'll see how we go. But it's a really exciting end to the season.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
See you in there.
Mark.
Thank you.
Good evening, Victor. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hard-fought victory yesterday.
Yeah, it was hard fought, but yeah, we definitely should have scored a few goals, especially me. But yeah, we won anyway, so that's the most important now in this stage.
You've punched your way into the top six after that result. A couple of games to go. How confident is the squad feeling that you could be heading into the playoffs?
No, as you say, we're in the top six now, so hopefully we can stay there. But yeah, we need to win our games that we have left, and yeah, we have a really good chance to do it.
You've had a brilliant individual season as well, scoring. What I love about your goals, you score so many different kinds of goals. You're brilliant with both feet, great in the air as well. How has it been playing under the manager, and how confident are you feeling at the moment that you can get the goals needed to send Coventry out?
No, I feel confident. Obviously, it goes up and down during a season, but yeah, I felt I've been doing well overall and kept scoring and keeping assists to other teammates. So yeah, it's been feeling good, and hopefully I can keep doing that for the rest of the season. On
our pod, we've called you the EFL's Haaland, so that's the comparison we're making to your goal-scoring prowess. Hopefully you can match his numbers as well soon. Cheers, Victor.
Have a good night. Right, we have, waiting in the wings, a star of last season's awards, a star of about 3 decades of EFL football.
Hey, steady you cheeky guy. All right.
Good
Here he
evening,
is.
Jamie.
How are we going?
The godfather of the EFL.
Oh, well, I'll take that, yeah.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Very well. Looking forward to tonight. Always a wicked night. And yeah, we've had a great season. Still lots to be decided, as usual. But yeah, should be a cracker.
These nights are incredible to celebrate both what's happening on the pitch, but also what's happening off the pitch as well. And the amount of awards that we have tonight that are to do with community, diversity and inclusion, it goes to show that although we're all focused on who's winning and who's not winning, realistically, the EFL clubs are all winning off the pitch at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's one of the beauties of the EFL. You know, I speak about it a lot, and all the way down, you know, the pyramid. I think that connection with community is absolutely massive, and that opportunity, if you're a player or a coach, certainly to engage, which maybe sometimes the Premier League level is not always easy for those guys, and they're almost in a different world and a bubble at times. So, yeah, I mean, these clubs do fantastic work. So hard to get to a point where people are picking winners because, as you say, up and down the EFL, every club does incredible work.
And onto the football side of things, you know, you not just a great championship pundit, but brilliant with League One and League Two. Quick question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh, you're not asking me predictions.
Which two teams get promoted out of League One automatically?
Wow.
You know, you've got Barnsley in there as well.
I've got to go for Plymouth. I've been there pretty much all season, as the other two have, but I just feel they've got enough to get there, and I've got to go for Ipswich in terms of current form, and then Sheffield Wednesday to get through in the playoffs. So it'd be a shame for any of those teams not to go up after the seasons they've had.
And Joby, last year at the awards, you won the Sir Tom Finney Award for your amazing contribution over however many years to the EFL.
3 decades. It weren't that long.
We're not at liberty to reveal who'll be winning that award tonight, but what did it mean to be recognised last year?
Oh, listen, it's as special as it gets. You know, I think particularly for myself, who had a large majority of my career in the EFL, and understanding, you know, how important that award is, and some of the past recipients, of course, and yeah, it was a huge honour. Pride of place on the mantelpiece, and looking forward to who wins it tonight. It's really a highlight of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck.
Just another 25 live games for you to be working on in the next couple of weeks. We'll be watching all of them.
Great time.
It's an amazing time. Nice to see
See
you,
you in there,
Jamie. See you in
mate.
there.
Nice one. Enjoy, guys.
Cheers, mate. See you in a bit. Right, it's kicking off now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think we have a League Two Player of the Season nominee waiting to come and chat to us.
Yes.
Just very polite, waiting for the traffic
I
to
know.
pass.
Yeah.
Come on. Look at this. We got Barley Mumba arriving. We got all the big names. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very, very well. Tricky game yesterday, but correct result for Cobblers.
Yeah, obviously, I think at this stage of the season, all games are big games, especially when you're at the right end of the table. So, didn't start too well, but we had to dig in and react, and luckily we did in the end.
On an individual level, what does it mean to you to be nominated for an award like this one, and what would it mean to win it as well?
Yeah, it's obviously, just to be nominated is brilliant for me. Never been up for anything like this in my life, so it's really nice to see other people can see that I'm playing well, and to win it would be even better. But to be nominated is brilliant in itself.
And playing well, not just yesterday and not just in the last few weeks, but really since the start of the season, Sam. You've been absolutely on one, just peppering the goal. Your highlights reel is unbelievable. What is it about this team and this season, do you think, that's gone so well for you?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think from a personal point of view, I think having a consistent sort of place, starting position has helped me massively. I think over the past sort of 3-4 years I've been dotted around everywhere on the pitch, but to be able to get that consistent place in the team on the left wing majority of the time has helped me massively. So, but we've got a really good group, obviously a great manager, good coaching staff, so it's all tied in well.
Best of luck tonight, mate. I hope it goes well for you, and we'll see you in there.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Waiting to join us, Barry Bannon. Good evening, sir.
How are you? You all right?
We're very well. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Tough game yesterday, but on the right side of the result.
Yeah, at the minute in time, what position we find ourselves in, it's all about results. We'd obviously like to play a bit better, but we have to keep winning games to try and put pressure on the ones above us.
Barry, you scored an unbelievable goal against my side, Oxford United, the other day, which I don't want to thank you for, but you do seem to come alive at this stage of the season. It was the same last season, scoring great goals at important times when the pressure's on. Do you feel like you thrive in pressure situations?
Yeah, I love playing with pressure, and obviously we've had a few of our best players injured this season at bad times, so I felt as if a bit of extra burden to try and step up. And like you said, the pressure moments, I've been lucky enough to come out on top so far, so we've got 2 massive games left, and hopefully I can keep producing the goods, and hopefully we can get promoted.
So much noise from the outside at this stage of the season, but we're on the outside just talking. You guys are doing the business on the pitch. What's it like being inside the dressing room with a couple of games to go and such crucial games as well? What's the messaging amongst the squad?
It's actually good. I love being involved in moments like this. This is why you play football. I'd rather be playing for something at the end of the season than just letting the season fizzle out. We've got a lot to play for, so we're enjoying it. We're just trying to control the controllable, and that's us at the minute. Just focusing on us as a team and winning our games, and come the end of the season, we'll have a look at the table and see where we end up.
Have a great night. Good luck.
I'll keep you apart from your fellow nominee behind you.
That's a nice moment. Fellow League One Player of the Season nominee Aaron Collins joins us. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
You enjoy these sorts of events?
First time going to an event like this.
First time.
So,
Well, it finishes at 2:30 a.m. Aaron. So I don't know if you're going to be here at the end, but I will.
You'll see him at the bar, yeah.
We'll be looking out for. We'll probably be vying for taxis at the same time, 2:30. So I'll see you then. Look, it's been an incredible season for you individually. To be nominated for this award, your first season at this level, I believe, as well. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, coming into this league, first time playing in League One. it's just been a good season for myself individually, and like, hoping now to kick on. And obviously, I feel like I've proved myself this season, and I feel like I could have done a lot more to prove myself as well. But I've done what I'm capable of, and I'd like to push on now.
We often talk about the double-double on our podcast, which is double figures for goals and assists. I think you did that back in like October. Do you set targets?
I'm still wearing my Christmas jumper, I think.
Do you set targets yourself at the beginning of a season, or is it a case of you just want to get as many goal involvements as you possibly can to help the team?
Yeah, I come into this season with targets for goals and assists. I wanted to hit double figures in assists, and then I was hoping for 20 goals. And there's still time to get it. I've still got 4 games left to go and get that. But yeah, hitting double-double is obviously a big achievement. Like I said, there's not many players who have done that in the EFL, and it's a big achievement. And I feel just like it proves the way my all-round game has been this season. And yeah.
What's been so noticeable, Aaron, is that you might have wide players who contribute a lot of assists from crosses, or wide players who are threats at goal, cutting in and shooting, or number 9s who run in behind a lot and get a lot of one-on-ones. And you seem to have got tons of assists from crosses, tons of goals from one-on-ones, tons of goals from picking up wide, dropping inside and shooting from range. You really like unlocked a sort of triple threat vibe here, which not a lot of players at the level have. So is this something new for you? Have you worked on parts of your game, or did you always have this, even going through the youth systems at Newport County, did you have this in the locker?
I feel like it's always been in my system. I haven't always been a goal scorer, I've been a creator as well. This season both of them have come in together, playing in the different positions. I played in the season where I played on the wide, I played in midfield in a 10, I played up front in a 2, in a 1.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I played in several positions, and I think that's where it's kind of brought it out of me, where I've been able to get the assists and the goals at the same time.
Well, it's been a pleasure to watch you play this season, and thank you for coming to chat to us. And good luck tonight.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is a bit of fun, isn't it?
It is, mate. And look at all this. We've got Jeff there. You can ask him if Hartlepool's.
What can we ask Jeff? It's
just
a
here.
difficult time for us.
How's it going, Jeff?
Good evening, Jeff. How are you?
How are you? You okay?
Good, yeah. How are you two?
Good to chat. Yeah, good. All good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Just to relax. It's nice. Yeah. End of season.
That's what we thought, and then they asked us to work.
It's the end of Hartlepool season, so.
Well, you said you're here to relax. I'm not sure if a question on Hartlepool is very appropriate. So let's talk about the leagues in general.
Okay.
We've been watching you our whole lives deal with every Saturday in the EFL, but particularly these last few Saturdays of the season. It is iconic viewing, appointed viewing. How much do you still love covering the last few weeks of the season?
Yeah, well, I love it. I mean, obviously, it builds to this all season long, doesn't it? It's the most difficult time for me in some ways, because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say somebody's gone up when they haven't. Sorry, Leyton Orient fans. We got there 4 days before anybody else did. Bianca West was just walked past me. I could see in the mirror.
Who was on the permutations there?
Oh, well, to be honest, there was so much going on, and of course, inevitably, it's going to come through at 4:45, 4:50 when everything's happening. And the video printer just said Leyton Orient promoted, and to my eternal shame, I went with this. I thought it's right, it was wrong. Anyway, the big thing is not to get anything else wrong.
One team we know who are going to be in the EFL side next season is Wrexham, who are promoted. What do you think? What are you looking forward to their return? Obviously, coming with a lot of Hollywood stardom. They'll be on the show next season.
Yeah, I mean, they do come with a lot of Hollywood stardom, but let's get this straight. Wrexham's a fantastic football club, and was a fantastic football club, before Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney came in. They've done wonders, for the area and the such like. But Wrexham have always had great supporters, and it's been a travesty that they've been out of the league for 15 long years, So their supporters have suffered for long enough. I hope they have a fantastic season, proper football club.
And I hope they don't replace Hartlepool when they come up.
Well, they will. I mean, they will. We are definitely going to be in the National League next season.
If you don't mind one final question, yeah. I thought yesterday you said something very powerful when Rochdale's relegation was confirmed, which was almost a rallying cry as someone who supports a club that's dropped down to the National League, that's come back up again. It's not the end. It's not the end of the world. 102 years of EFL history, but it's a great division. The pyramid is still strong as ever, and you can come back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The pyramid is strong. And when we were first relegated, I thought this was the end of the world. Football did not exist outside of the EFL, but it does, because the National League is a strong league. It's got some really good clubs in it as well. And, the Rochdale fans, all I can say to them is they will enjoy going to grounds that they've never been to before, playing against clubs that they've never played against before. They won't want to stay there too long. They'll want to be back in the EFL, as we do. But, you've got a team to support, and that is the big thing. Whatever league your team plays in, you still have a football club to support.
Are you sure?
You're right.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks, yeah.
Bianca, it's very nice to see you. Were you at a game yesterday?
Yeah, I was.
Which one?
Wigan Millwall.
Wow.
Sent her to Wigan. you know.
I always get all the good games.
East End girls sent to Wigan.
No, exactly. And the Millwall fans obviously love me.
What did you make of Wigan though? Because they're making, after the points deduction, making a decent go of staying up.
Well, they were completely different to what I expected yesterday. They really gave it a good go, but to be fair, Millwall didn't exactly put on a good performance. So I was quite surprised actually. I thought Millwall were going to go up there and give Wigan a good seeing to, but it didn't happen.
She threatened to sing some Heather Small to Gary Rowett
Yes.
after the
I
game,
saw that.
and he was not in the mood for it.
Was that a bit of a Soccer AM stitch-up?
No, that was actually me singing. I'm not even kidding. I'll probably end up doing Heather Small impression tonight. I've had a few glasses of champagne.
Well, you're back in the capital. It's going to be an amazing night tonight. Thank you for coming to chat to us, both of
Thanks,
you.
guys. See you in there.
Nice to see you.
Cheers.
Nice to see you. Right. Couple of
Where are
minutes
we?
left. Let's see
Yeah.
which stragglers we might pick up. And I'm going to need you to put your passcode into the iPad.
Oh, I don't want to say it too loud.
Don't say it on.
There you go.
I was
They
going to
can
say
see it,
national
huh?
TV. That might be a stretch.
Worldwide, isn't it?
Hey, George, we got some incredible young player of the season shortlists. Alex Scott.
I saw Alex Scott white whistle past us. I know.
What?
Gutted. Yeah.
Was he going 100 miles an hour like
yes.
he does on the pitch?
Yes, and he was actually had a ball at his feet that he was stuck to his foot as he went as well, which is impressive.
The Guernsey Grealish is here tonight. He's up for Championship Young Player of the Season with Hayden Hackney of Middlesbrough, with Amad Diallo of Sunderland.
I think this is really interesting where you've got three players with such different backgrounds, where Alex Scott is a starlet come through the Bristol City Academy from Guernsey. Hayden Hackney was on loan at Scunthorpe last season when they were relegated out of the EFL. So for him to step up as he has done at Middlesbrough is unbelievable. And of course, Amad Diallo, a multi-million-pound signing from Manchester United, huge reputation, and he's lived up to it all season. So three very different players, three great stories, all equally justifying their place in the list.
Yeah, all very worthy. I mean, Hackney will certainly be playing in the playoffs and could make a name for himself. He's been on the score sheet a couple of times recently. Amad Diallo as well. Sunderland with a massive win at West Brom today. They are massively in the mix for the playoffs. In League One, the Young Player of the Season, sponsored by EA Sports, includes Jez Rak-Saki of Charlton, who brings a smile to my face when I say his name. Same with Barley Mumber of Plymouth.
Who's always got a smile on his own face.
These are guys who just have been lighting up League One this season. And Cameron Humphreys of Ipswich Town as well, who was included in our EFL 21 Under-21 show with Sky Sports, highlighting
As was Barley.
As was Barley, for sure. Jez Rak-Saki would have been, but he's a Premier League loanee, and that show was about celebrating EFL developed talent in League Two. We have Junior Chamado up for League Two Player of the Season, Young Player of the Season, I should say, sponsored by EA Sports. He's up there with Jaden Sweeney of Leyton Orient, who played a crucial role in their promotion when a few defensive injuries threatened to hamper their season, and Jacob Wakeling of Swindon Town as well.
Yeah, all really good players, all fully deserving of their place on the list. It's always, I think, with especially young player of the seasons, where it's difficult because you don't really want any of them to miss out, because at this stage of their careers they're doing amazing stuff to even be nominated. Who have we got coming down?
We've got Barry Fry.
Oh, exciting. That is
stalking
exciting.
up the runway, and I think if there was a list of top 5 people you want to talk to on a digital live stream, you've probably got Neil Warnock in there. You've definitely got Barry Fry in there. So let's see if we might be able to grab him for a picture. I imagine he's been to a number of these events over the years, and I'm sure he knows. Good evening, Barry. Could we grab a very quick word?
Yeah, why not?
How are you?
Terrible.
Oh no.
We got well beat yesterday by a better team from start to finish, so I'm feeling a bit frustrated.
I'm interested to know what you make of Ipswich, not just in terms of their performance yesterday in the league, but in terms of the teams that we've seen at League One level generally. Are they one of the best?
I think they're miles ahead of everybody. They've got strength in depth. They've got a great way of playing. They score plenty of goals. The manager's done absolutely fantastic since he's been there.
Everything's still on the table for Posh, of course, despite yesterday's defeat. Feels like there's 3 teams going for 2 places and a couple of tricky fixtures to come. But having made the managerial change back in January, Peterborough picked up among the top points tallies in the league since then. So Darren Ferguson.
Darren Ferguson's done brilliant. I mean, he's already got 5 promotions, winning trip at Wembley in the Johnson Paint. Not only that, he's developed a lot of our players, and we've sold them for millions and millions and millions. I don't know why a top championship club haven't come in for him yet, and I hope they don't come in for him so we can persuade him to stay a little bit longer. But he came in to help us out, and he said he's just there till the end of the season. We'll see what happens, and please God he stays. But we wish him all the best. He deserves a better club than us. No disrespect to Peterborough.
And finally, a word on Johnson Clark-Harris, who's up for League One Player of the Season. A brilliant goal scorer, a great striker. At a club, I've had a fair few great strikers over the years.
Yeah, I mean, Jono's got an unbelievable record with us. Goals per games, I think, is out ahead of anybody. But he's a centre forward that needs a service. And sometimes we give him the service and sometimes we don't. If we do, I guarantee he'll score. Like yesterday, he never had a ball in the box that he could get on the end of. But, you know, he's done great. And he's another one, really. We bought him for over $1 million. You know, he got his promotion. He won the Golden Boot once, you know, and he could win it again, which is unbelievable. And again, you know, we're quite holding back.
There's a few that you might be on people's shortlist.
Yeah, there is.
Kwame Poku's having a good season. Ephraim Mason-Clark, Ronnie Edwards.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of bids in January, and fair play to Darren McCanton, he turned them all down. You know, despite everybody in the country saying we were skint.
we never said that.
Never said that.
I think Darren did say if he sold any of his good players, what's the point of bringing him back? So we didn't bother selling anybody.
Can I just ask you one quick thing on Peterborough's transfers over the last, more than a decade now? It feels like, you know, people laud Brentford and Brighton, rightly so, for what they've been able to do. But in EFL terms, the bravery that Posh have shown to spend money, you said over £1 million for Johnson Clark-Harris, but also on players from the National League, and not be scared to do so, knowing that if they play well enough, you will sell them on for more money. It's an incredible model, and still not many teams seem to have cracked it like you.
No, I mean, our problem is, because of the size of the club, we're a small club, and every year the owner puts so much money in, and my job is to offset the losses and get the money in, which is very difficult when you keep selling your best players and all that. But we do well in, we always spend money as well. You talk about, we've had 75 million since Darren's been here, which is, but we give some of that away to other clubs because we've bought 6 players for over £1 million since Darren McCanty's been there.
Wow.
Peterborough, little Peterborough. So the chairman's very enthusiastic, very passionate about the club. But if he does sell them, we can't stand in people's way. Our wages are poor. You know, we've had 17 players leave us to become millionaires overnight because of the contracts they got. We can't stand in their way. That's why we come to us, we put me in the shop window. If we get the right bid, you're gone and you're a millionaire. You're happy, we're happy, everybody's happy. Up the Posh!
Up the Posh. Nice to see
Enjoy
you,
your
Barry.
evening. Cheers,
Enjoy your
Barry.
Evening, Richie. How are you? You okay?
How's it going? You all right? Yeah, good, thanks. You okay?
Not a bad week for you and the gang at Leyton Orient.
It's all right, not bad, is it?
And now you get to celebrate tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good night. We've got three players that are in the team a year. For my opinion, maybe a couple more. Surprised that Paul Smith isn't in it, to be honest. But no, this is what I actually came here last year and seen Rob Edwards and a lot of the Fleet Forest Green guys. So that was kind of a motivation for me that I wanted to be in their spot this year. They didn't quite sewn it up. They had to wait till the last game. Luckily, we've got 3 games left, but we've sewn it up.
And you're nominated, of course, for Manager of the Year as well. What would it mean to you to win that?
I think that's the biggest prize that a manager could win this year, apart from obviously the league in terms of a collective. The aim was always as a collective to win the league, but it's always nice to get personal accolades. I think that when young English managers, you take knocks in your career, I think it's important that some English managers come back and grow from that, just to give an inspiration for the younger guys coming through. It's never a smooth, easy ride. And I've been high and I've been low, and I've reacted from a real low last year and come back strong.
2 League 2 title-winning teams that you've built in a pretty short period of time, in the space of 4 years. But last time we spent in town, it was the 1920 season that got cut short. So the awards were affected, and of course celebrating with the fans was affected. So it must mean almost double for you personally to actually be able to sort of soak yourself in it all.
But the scenes when we was promoted on Tuesday and the scenes when we won the league last night was tremendous. I feel though I was robbed of a certain, you have to go through testing times as a manager. When you hear all the top managers, the first trophy is always the most difficult. So I feel as though it was a little bit taken away from me, the final whistle, the problems that I have to come through going through the last 2 or 3 games. But we've obviously done it this year, so again, it's something that is part of my development.
An unbelievable season. Congratulations on the promotion, champions, and also let's see how you get on tonight. Best of luck.
Have a good night.
See you in there.
Thank you.
See you in there. Well, this has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Standing on the blue carpet, the famous blue carpet of the EFL Awards 2023. The awards will get underway in just over 20-25 minutes time, and it's always such an incredible few hours because clearly there's a lot of excitement to find out who's in the teams of the season. Did we just get a little spoiler from Richie Wellens that he wasn't meant to give us? Sure, but that's the perils of live digital broadcasting. But there's so much off the field as well, George, that everyone in the room every year sits up a little straighter for and fully appreciates what they're seeing in terms of the work that EFL clubs do off the field as well with the community trust.
I think that's the important part in my mind is that we see montages, we see clips, we find out so much about the family that is the EFL and how all the clubs combine to that. And we learn a lot through it, and it just shows how special these leagues are and the clubs with them as well.
It's going to be an incredible few hours, so make sure you are locked to the EFL social media channels so you get the winners as soon as they are announced. We didn't even get through Apprentice of the season. There's so much to look forward to over the next few hours here in London for the EFL Awards 2023. Thank you for joining us on the blue carpet.
Although, it's an encore. It's an encore. Don't leave your seats. Just waiting for Darren Moore to have a photo taken, and then we can have a chat with him.
Sensational.
All great gigs have an encore.
The final whistle was in our lips, not blown. We've got a League One Manager of the Season nominee.
Hi, Darren.
Hello, Darren. How are you?
Okay. Yeah, good.
You're
Thanks.
right.
You're right.
Good.
Nice to see you. Good evening. Looking very well.
Yeah, no, really pleased to be here this evening and come and enjoying the awards evening with some other special candidates and guests, really. So good to be under the same roof.
It's been a tricky month or so for Wednesday, but how proud are you of the team that they've rallied and you're now pushing Ipswich and Argyle all the way?
Yeah, you know, I look back and I think at Sheffield Wednesday and I says, you know, we've amassed 90 points over 44 games. And if you work that out with your maths, it tells you the consistency of what we've shown over the course of the season. But we've been pushed along the way with some other fantastic clubs, and I think it's been a tremendous League One season. And it didn't surprise us with the quality that's in there. As managers, we push each other, and as teams, we've been pushing each other all season, and there's still some way to go yet.
You're up for League One Manager of the Season. I know you're far too humble to talk about whether or not that you should be the winner. So let's ask about one of your star players, Barry Bannon, who's up for League One Player of the Season.
Yeah, for me, it's an honour to work alongside him and to see the talent that he possesses, but the drive and his commitment and his enthusiasm has been exceptional. So for us to be here tonight, to be supporting him for one of the awards, it's a great testament to him.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck for the rest of the season and best of luck tonight, Dan.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Enjoy your evening. Thanks, Terry. Thank you.
Right. Okay, that was a test, like 3 o'clock today.
It's been a pleasure, and it will only continue. Here on the blue carpet, we have Chris Kamara walking down, and might be the person I'm most excited to talk to tonight. Chris Kamara, an absolute legend and inspiration, and neither of us ever met him.
No, it's exciting.
It's just someone that we have grown up loving.
Excuse me. Can we get a quick word?
Good evening, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Very, very well. We're very excited about the EFL Awards tonight.
Very excited to meet you as well.
We're very excited to meet you. We're massive fans for a long time, so it's a real pleasure. And I mean, another incredible season, aren't they always in the EFL? The drama continues.
Amazing, isn't it? You know, the championship, you know, Burnley have done brilliant. Sheffield and the playoffs, who knows? You know, no idea. And at the bottom, nothing's done and dusted there. Yeah.
You mentioned Burnley there. Where do you think this Burnley team rank amongst the best championship sides we've seen in recent seasons? There have been some good ones. We've seen Leeds, Fulham. Where do you think Vincent Kompany's Burnley rank?
I think that's hard to say. You know, they play good football. Vincent's first job, and they've been brilliant, you know. And all of a sudden he's been touted for jobs and all sorts, you know. I hope he gives it one season with Burnley and see where he can take it.
Yeah, you always hope they give it that one more season. You also hope that if the results aren't good early on, that they are given time as well, don't you? Chris Kamara, it's so great to see you tonight. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you in there.
Thanks.
See you there. Cheers. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, I think we're now wrapping up.
Is this a stitcher? Are we still going?
Is Vincent Kompany now going to walk down here?
That's been one of the most fun things we've ever done.
Yeah, loved it. Can we come back next year?
Thank you to the EFL for putting us on the blue carpet. It's been really good fun. We are looking forward to getting inside and enjoying the refreshments and enjoying the dinner and enjoying the awards. But we may still have. But
here we go. Live TV here. What's happening?
But we're over.
Okay.
Enjoy, everyone. Go well.